Best of r/entitled parents episode 154. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. For any context, I am giving the link from Just Normal since my original post somehow was deleted on this forum. https://www.com/r/justnormal/comments/inf2u/mildersones4m old granddaughter/ UTM medium equals Android app and UTM source equals share. I haven't given a lot of closure on anyone interested on the turnout, and here we are 4M later and my little girl just keeps getting bigger. Her father and I exhausted several resources looking for legal assistance, but there was nothing in our budget. Also, with the coronavirus stirring up, I ended up being laid off. I'm a licensed massage therapist, so money has been tight. My husband and I agreed to simply let the issue go and just cut them from our lives completely. Everything was going great until a week ago. My MIL found a way to contact me despite my block and being the person I am. I heard her out. I know this was a mistake. She prattled on about how sorry she was and how she deserved to see her grandchild and she wanted to fix it. I really didn't want to hear the entitled BS since she is oblivious she did anything wrong, with excuses for every action. I feel this is for my husband and his father to discuss, and my husband is pissed I even spoke to her. We had peace and now I have let her wheel her way back in. She's already demanding my husband remove social media post, unblock certain PPL, bring baby girl to visit. I screwed up bad and I don't want to deal with my Karen Mill. I could tell stories of being in public with this woman that were just embarrassing and infuriating. I'm at a loss, and the one thing that got under my skin was her statement. You shouldn't be so ungrateful after everything we did for you, and it's selfish you're keeping her away from us. With this pandemic going on, family needs each other and we were supposed to be family. What if one of us dies from corona? It just constantly rings in my head and I cringe every time I hear it. I can't understand why she's so entitled to think she did nothing wrong and all of this is our fault and we're the ungrateful and selfish ones. It almost makes me wish she would catch it just for the sake of karma, and that's not me. I'm letting my husband deal with it, but for the sake of getting our property back and letting him decide if he wants to work things out with his dad. I guess I'm stuck. I'll update if anything changes. Thank you. Next. Toxic people tactics for emotional abuse. Using fog, fear, obligation, guilt, e.g. fear of abandoning you, obligation to them as your role, guilt for saying no and not obeying them, intimidation, threats, ultimatums, showing rage when fog doesn't work anymore, avoidance of their core responsibilities but over-controlling someone else's trivial things, e.g. controlling what you should wear without paying for your clothes, neglecting to teach study habits to their kids but controlling their kids' school/major choice, controlling the household budget without contributing any money, sense of entitlement due to an invented victimhood status, that their needs will always be more important than yours. Your needs and feelings don't exist. Blaming other people and/or the system. Not owning their feelings. E.g. you made me feel this way, even you made me do this, while expecting others to babysit their emotions. Blaming the consequences of their negligence/mistakes on you, including the things that are beyond your control. Constant feeling of frustration, anger, disappointment about you or external factors, e.g. money, someone not giving enough attention/effort, government, monopoly of truth, defensiveness and resistance to feedback, censorship of topics that they refuse to face, e.g. cracks in the family, their feelings are the only reality, period. A different point of view will be met with rage, excuses, and blame, deflection, that there must be something wrong with you, but nothing wrong with them, e.g. strong suggestions that you are an unlovable person. The problem that you are describing is yours and about how you handle the situation. Disrespecting boundaries, privacy, or personal property, e.g. snooping your personal letters or documents, secretly listening to your phone calls, eavesdropping, asking you to keep your door unlocked, anger when you express and enforce healthy boundaries that protect yourself, unfair setup, double standards, and cognitive dissonance, with lame excuses. The rules and logic that apply to you don't apply to them and their favorites, e.g. this is who I am, you have to adjust, You just need to manage your time/money, without managing their own time/money, making their own needs the center of your life and making your needs too compact, invalidating your experience, minimizing your pain, e.g. It is not that bad, you are too sensitive, you are exaggerating, it didn't happen that way, or toxic positivity, e.g. positive vibes only, other people had it worse, you should be thankful, be the bigger person and always forgive. Conditional love that is impossible to achieve, i.e. emotional blackmail, that they love you only when you follow what they want, which likely has inconsistencies, and they keep on moving the goalpost, splitting, seeing things as black and white, either all good or all bad, nothing in between. It's either you support them or you are against them. It's either someone is a good person or a bad person. Triangulation, e.g. promoting sibling rivalry, designating a golden child who represents all their aspirations versus a scapegoat who represents all their frustrations, fears, and insecurities. No matter what the scapegoat does, toxic people will never see the scapegoat as truly equal to or better than the golden child. They will always try to glamorize the golden child's characteristics just to trivialize the scapegoat's bigger accomplishments. Programming toxic shame through constant demeaning comments, mocking your life choices, including your smallest habits, conditioning you that you are always wrong and should be ashamed of yourself no matter what you do, devaluation, ignoring, downplaying, or demonizing your accomplishments and belittling your positive aspects, while highlighting your mistakes and focusing on the nitty-gritty. No matter what you do, you will never get the validation because you are not that great. Gaslighting, reality distortion, reinterpreting facts to fit their narrative as if the bigger facts don't exist at all, e.g. when you start prioritizing yourself and asserting your rights, they would say that you have changed, for the worse, because you are not the same obedient, controllable person anymore. Using words and proverbs that look nice on paper but actually destructive when it is used as a tool for manipulation, e.g. blood is thicker than water, honor thy mother and thy father, while forgetting that they have the responsibility to take care of their kids, trapping you in their miserable situation, e.g. through financial abuse, blackmail, assigning you tasks that take a lot of your time, making you move to an inconvenient location, social isolation from others, discouraging you to be more social, wanting you to stay at home, or with excuses that your friends are not good for you, and making you feel guilty for not being loyal to them. I hate you but I need you and strategic and temporary kindness. They want you to stay but they will treat you horribly during your entire stay, e.g. constantly threatening to kick you out or abandon you but will feign kindness once you plan to move out or go no contact. Inconsistencies. They secretly see you as superior but they treat you as inferior. They want you to stay but they do things that make you want to walk away. They demand equality to gain privilege but they hate equality and responsibilities. Fake or empty apology, I'm sorry you feel that way, or strategic apology, dropped only when you are about to abandon them, but there is no real willingness to change. Smear campaign when the manipulation tactics are not working anymore. They are insecure deep inside the need to find allies and spokespersons, called flying monkeys who will bark on her behalf. Thank you. Next. So I originally posted this as r/racedbinocist cause I didn't have enough comment karma to post here but now I do. Okay, so this isn't my specific story but my sister. She just turned 19 and is in her first year of college. So my mom, M, is a control freak. What a surprise. My sister had been planning her grad party all her senior year, trying to find a place, food, etc. At first she found a good spot at my dad's apartment clubhouse. You can rent it for a $100 deposit. It was a good idea, but M complained that there wouldn't be parking. We both obviously knew it was because it was through my dad but whatever. Next my sister went and scheduled a room at my town's community center. It was spacious and nearby so perfect. M was iffy about it and continued to complain. Although it was annoying my sister continued to ignore her about it. M would complain about everything. The place, food, decorations, time. It was so irritating that my sister ended up confronting M. M had the nerve to fight her on it. When my sister pointed out that it was a party for her not anyone else, Em got mad and said it wasn't about her, it was about Em and everybody else except my sister. According to Em, a grad party is to celebrate the family helping the graduate through high school and supporting them, not the actual graduate. What? This pissed her off and they continued to fight leading up to the party. Em even threatening to cancel it, saying she paid for it and she can cancel it. Em paid for maybe some cups. When it came to the actual party, the plan was to make this Sprite and sherbet drink, but something happened and they couldn't get the sherbet. So my sister calmly went up to Em a few hours before the party and asked if we could just get ice cream and root beer since it was similar to the sherbet drink in ingredients. Em exploded. She started shouting how it was too expensive and too much work. That sister was demanding too much and it wasn't all about her. This caused an argument and my sister just stopped her, said, "Okay, calm down, I was just asking." Em hated this and started on a rant of sister being selfish and ungrateful for everything Em has done. So my sister just left to her room to finish decorations. I have a lot of anxiety, to this was huge for me. After my sister left, Em tried to complain to me and I stopped her right in her tracks. I continued to tell her that she was in the wrong and my sister was politely asking a question and that she just exploded out of nowhere. Even our little sister, who almost always sides with Em, chimed in saying that Em does it a lot where they will calmly ask something and Em will just explode. Em was silent the whole time and at the end just said okay. Later that day Em went to apologize to us, but in her own twisted way. She claimed that all the stress of planning this whole party basically by herself was stressful and us being disrespectful was difficult, that we could help more. This was BS. Em barely planned anything, and around this time all my sisters and I agreed to be more patient with Em for my sister's sake. We pointed out to her that we had made it a point to be polite and do what we were told recently and that none of what Em was saying was true. We took care of her children and my sister and her BF's family planned the party. Em got pissed but surprisingly made sure to stay calm, probably cause there were people around. The rest of the day my younger sister and I just chased around the babies for basically the entire party while Em bragged about how proud she was of my sister and how it was hard raising so many kids and planning a party. Everything was pretty neutral for the night and my sister said her party was okay. Better than nothing, I guess. My graduation is coming up next year and I will be making sure Em has nothing to do with planning other than maybe asking for some help paying things. Edit. I reformatted it so it's easier to read instead of just a wall of text. Thank you. Next. So this happened 2 years ago at a family gathering. The story is pretty long so I will put a TL. Doctor at the bottom. In my tradition, the living room of the host's house is where the adults go and the bedroom is where the children go. My family once hosted a gathering. One of my cousins noticed we had FIFA 18 and told everyone. We all took turns to play a few games. It was me and a little boy called Jibri. He was only 4 years old and it wasn't a big surprise to see I beat him 7-0. He flies into a fit of crying and screaming and yeets the controller at the wall with all his strength, then stamped on it a few times. The controller's joystick was dislocated and the R2 button was missing. I told my mother about the incident and brought it to my aunt. The convo went like this. EA. Entitled Aunt Me MM. My mum. MM. Jibri broke one of our controllers. EA. So, it's your controller. You should pay for it. ME. But it wasn't me, it was your child. You should pay for it. EA. He is only 4. Doesn't mean he's allowed to go to other people's houses and break their things without any consequences. EA. Shut up, old hag. Are you calling me an old hag? You're 5 years older than me. EA. You don't have any proof to show he broke it. ME. We do. We have 12 people in our bedroom that saw Jibri throw the controller and the broken controller here. By now, we were drawing attention of the adults and it was pretty easy to tell whose side to take. EA thought that her husband would take her side and called him CH. Cool husband. CH. Yes, honey. EA. Jibri broke their controller. Should we pay for it? CH. Well, yes, obviously. EA. Are you stupid? They should pay for it. It's theirs. CH. If their MM's kids broke it, then she would pay for it. Instead Jibri broke it. You're paying this time. ME. In my head, he did it more than once. EA. Okay. Since you don't agree with me, I will ask everyone else. She goes round and asks everyone if she should pay and they all said yes. Meanwhile, CH was going through EA's purse to find £50 for the controller. She finally goes to my grandma, the oldest relative. She has the most authority above everyone else in the family and everybody must follow her decision. This made EA think that she would have the side of the most important person in family. Instead, my grandma said, "EA, you are permanently banned from hosting or attending family gatherings starting right now. I politely ask you to leave. If you don't in the next 5 minutes, police will be contacted." The end. TL. Dr. My 4-year-old cousin threw a temper tantrum after I beat him 7-0 on FIFA and proceeded to completely demolish my controller. My mom and I took it down to his mom to get her to pay for it. She then comes back and says we should pay for it because it is ours. No one takes her side and then goes to my grandma to get a decision. Instead, she gets banned from hosting and attending family gatherings. Thank you. Next. Is this the right place to post all the weird/crazy bullshit your parents do/say? I'm 21, and now that I'm stuck at home until college starts back up this fall, my dad is driving me crazy. Because I'm living here for free, he expects help out around the house to compensate. Okay, that seems reasonable. But then he clarified that what he expects is 3-4 hours of outside/manual labor every day, 6-8 on Saturdays. He acts like it's an unspoken rule all parents have that cannot be broken or fallen short of even in the slightest. If I find a better way to do something or finish early, he will literally invent things for me to do just to fill the time quota. I've spent the last week or so completely renovating our playset area and building the new metal set he bought. He's said the main reason for buying it was so that my little brothers, 7, 11, could work on upper body strength, not for playing, not for friends. For exercise. He often tells them to get down and do 10 push-ups whenever they act up or have extra energy. The man's obsessed with everyone in our family pushing their physical limitations on a daily basis. He becomes furious whenever he sees me or my teenage sisters in bed past 8, and constantly roasts us for not starting our days right when we don't work out for 30-60 minutes. He says he would help me outside if he didn't have so many Zoom meetings on his laptop. Often when I'm done, he will simply inspect my work, and either give me another task or say my work wasn't good enough without even thanking me. We have a garden big enough to walk around in as well, which in his mind is what'll sustain our family and neighbors once modern society is inevitably knocked out by a countrywide EMP. He just barely got angry at me for even suggesting that we set up a sibling rotation for mowing the lawn in the coming summer months. They're fully capable of helping out and we could even get more done and faster if he let them help me, but he insists that as the oldest son all the outside manual labor belongs to me to fulfill. He berates me and my sisters on a nearly daily basis, warning us against becoming useless wastes of flesh, especially whenever he sees us on our phones or me on my computer. And honestly, we don't even use them that much. He needs to see people with actual problems and addictions before he gets frustrated with us and threatens to cancel the internet service. He swore off video games himself back in the 80s, and recently has claimed he's given up all electronic entertainment. He still stays up until 3 AM watching Forged in Fire the Hole, which he justifies because it's educational. He's even thought about converting our basketball court into a forge to make his own blades for when everyone runs out of bullets during the apocalypse. I know he's trying to encourage us to adopt good habits and a decent work ethic, but passive-aggressive anger and shaming can't be the best way to go about it. Thank you. Next. My parents request I come home during all this mess, which has been the biggest mistake of my life. Seriously, it was an awful move, and once I am out of here I am never speaking to these people again. I have a good amount of money coming in because I work my ass off and some projects are finally paying off. When I first got here several weeks ago, I started requesting random bills to pay. My mom said that would be awesome and faked being happy when I know now she clearly expected to make bank off of me. Car insurance, cell phone bills, house payments, etc. I've been happily paying them. Not only have they not said thank you once, which I wouldn't mind if they just showed me some sort of not negative emotion, but they are constantly making me wait several days to pay these bills and being weirdly aggressive about it. The logical next step is to not pay the bills, right? Except when I said I wouldn't help if it bothered them, my stepdad flipped shit and called me a freeloader. So my taxes came and I decided to give my mom $400. Because I have good money coming in, I also ordered random odds and ends that I need/want. Not only was I not told thank you for the $400, but now as my things come in, every time something arrives in the mail they both get passive aggressive. It does not matter if it's $9 skin cream. I might as well have lavished myself with gold by the way they are acting. I also told my mom because I made under enough to get the $1,200 when it comes, I'm going to give her $500. When I told her this, she got weirdly passive aggressive about it again, and I could tell she wants the whole $1,200. I don't get it. They make good money. They both just got more than me back in taxes. Also does not help that they have done nothing but shit on me and ride my ass since I got here, treating me like trash. Even recruiting my brother into it. Seriously, they have made me feel lower than dirt. I am crying myself to sleep every night because of how they are treating me every day. And just now my stepdad messaged me that I need to knock off the spending spree and grow up. Excuse the fuck out of me because I know they raised me, but in my world if anyone happily gives you thousands in cash without complaint, you at least be nice to them. But with them they clearly want every penny I have and to treat me like trash. I own a home. I have a life. I have a career. I don't need to grow up. I'm fucking grown. I would dip today if my state wasn't under a stay-at-home order and if I wasn't so worried about my mom who works with the public. Edit. Additional detail. We live in a state where it is dirt cheap to live. Just to really put an emphasis on how bullshit it is that my thousands haven't been enough money for them. The money I've spent in 1 month here would pay someone's rent in this state for 5 months. I've given them a lot. I think I deserve a good job or a thank you for helping. All I want is for them to show me some kinda love. Thank you. Next. On mobile, so sorry for formatting. This happened quite a few months ago. Backstory. I work a popular UK pub chain which doesn't allow under 18s on the premises after 9 PM, 9:30 PM if they're having a meal. So at about 8:50 PM I head around the pub to make sure everyone has it and is aware that under 18s or anyone unable to produce it upon request must leave by 9 PM. Get to a table that ordered via their phone and inform them that their son, about 17 M, can't be on the premises at 9 EM. Said they'd ordered food, so I said they could stay until 9:30 but no later. That did not go down well. EM, where on the menu does it state that U18s aren't allowed to eat here? Me. U18s are indeed allowed to eat, but due to our licensing and UK laws we cannot permit U18s on the premises after 9 or 9:30 if a meal is being eaten. EM, we've ordered over £50 of food and drink and we will take our time eating because nowhere on the menu does it say he can't be in here. Me, the menu simply tells you what food and drink we sell. Our licensing is on our company website. It's common that U18s aren't allowed in bars after 9 PM. I'm sorry it's inconvenient, but you are more than welcome to stay until 9:30 to enjoy your meal. EM, you are being extremely rude. Nowhere on your menu does it state he can't be here. I want to speak to your manager right now. Me, very well, but they're going to tell you the same thing I have. EM, no they won't because I've spent over £50 and they don't want to lose that sale. I go back to the bar and radio the kitchen to hold the food ticket for a minute while I talk to my manager. I tell Sarah, fake name, what's happened and what was said, and she laughed at the idea that our multi-million-pound pub chain needed her sale. Sarah goes over and repeats everything I told EM, and EM demands a refund and essentially my head on a spike for being rude. She gets her refund and storms out, so no satisfying ending to this tale. Poor kid looked so embarrassed throughout the whole thing and I feel for him for having a mother so stupid.